Watched one of Megadan's What's Hood videos. Got me thinking about what he was talking about, which was, if you're on a desert island or deserted island, what 5 video games would you take with you if you could and had the means to play them? Because otherwise, what would be the point of actually having them? So, somewhat quick list I came up with. And I tried to get a couple of different consoles on it. But the restriction I put on it was, you can't do a multi-cart, you can't do like an arcade machine that has a bunch of games on it, or the new digital pinball games. You got to have something that's a single game on a cart or on a disc. Otherwise, I'll just take 5 flash carts and have 5 different console libraries. Or, an ODE with a 2 terabyte EverDrive or ODE SD card. There we go. That's what I'm going for. So, games I came up with kind of quickly, but one that I thought about when I was watching Megadan's video was Earth Defense Force 2025 on the Xbox 360. I think it's available on other systems like the PlayStation. I think it's on the PC. But I loved EDF 2017. There was only one character class, but 100 levels, 5 different difficulties. Well, 2025 has about 100 levels with all the DLC, so I want all the DLC to go along with the game. But there's 4 different classes, so you have about 100 levels and 5 difficulties. So each character has roughly 500 levels. So that would get you through a lot of time, and I just really enjoy. It's like playing a B-movie. You're running around shooting giant bugs and robots and stuff, spaceships. The next one I thought about is a game called Shining in the Darkness. It's the original Shining game that was released from the Shining Force series, which, to my understanding, takes place after the original Shining Force. And I debated with Shining Force or Shining in the Darkness. And now I'm really thinking about it again. Shining in the Darkness is a dungeon crawler. You've got 3 characters. I think it's been a while since I played through, but I think there's 8 labyrinths to go through. If you're on a deserted island, you're not going to have the maps. So even if you were to draw them in the sand, they wouldn't last very long. Well, now I'm really wondering about Shining Force, the original Shining Force, because you can get a good bit of gameplay through that. I went through and I did a hero run where the hero killed everything, but I kept a healer around just to heal him. And if you're to do that with all the characters, a solo run, and then just... Man, I'm going to have to think about that. We'll jump to the next game. It's a game called Starflight. It's a space sim. You start off, you got to go and find a new... You're looking for colonizable worlds because you know that the system that you're in, the sun is about to go supernova. So there is a bit of a time constraint to the game in that effect. But you're going out there trying to catalog the planets. But while you're doing this, you discover why your sun is going nova. You find out that a lot of the other suns are going nova. Not to give you anything away, even though it's a really old game. I played through it originally on the Macintosh at a buddy's house, and every time I went over there, he and I would play it. You got to go collect You can collect creatures and or minerals to sell for money so you can upgrade your ship, get better weapons and better engines, better shields, train your people. The communications officer, if he's not well trained, when you go to communicate with somebody, it comes out as gibberish. And so you want to get your communications officer maxed out as high as possible, somewhat as quickly as possible, to help with the exploration. But there's hundreds of star systems. I think something like 800 or 900 planets to explore. And it's a really cool story. There's 8 different races, I think. I forget off the top of my head. But it's a really neat game. But I played through it on the Macintosh, I played through it on the Commodore 64, I played through it on the PC, and then when I found out about the Genesis version, I was like, gotta get that. But it's another great game. So the next game on my list is Elemental Gimmick Gear for the Dreamcast. It's got a really cool art style. Looks a little bit like you're playing an anime or a cartoon. You got this little egg robot that walks around. You get upgrades for it. You got to punch and spin your way to victory. And one of the items for the games you get by defeating a robot that another guy's piloting 100 times. If you get defeated, you have to start over. And it's optional. You don't actually need the item to beat the game. But it's neat because it usually, if you're in the egg and there's an attack mode where you can sit there and just spin and run into stuff, it consumes energy. Well, if you have that item, it doesn't take energy anymore. So it's a nice little thing to have. And I just had a thought. I was like, is this desert island going to have replacement batteries for my VMU? Going back to Shining in the Darkness and Shining Force, I think I'll stick with Shining in the Darkness. Shining in the Darkness is my other pick. That one's also for the Genesis, I don't know if I said. But it's the first dungeon crawler that I really got into. I rented it several times, rented the manual. At the time, we had a photocopier, so I made copies of the manual, so I didn't have to keep paying to rent it. And I mapped out every single dungeon. Like, I'd move a couple squares, draw it on the graph paper. Move a couple more squares, draw it on the graph paper. Find a chest, mark it, write down what was in the chest. Just really enjoyable dungeon crawler. Alright, so we got Shining in the Darkness on the Genesis, Starflight on the Genesis, Earth Defense Force 2025 for the 360, Elemental Gimmick Gear on the Dreamcast. So for my final game, what do you think it is? Probably not what you think it is. It's a game for the GameCube. When I saw it, it was one of the reasons why I really, really wanted to get a GameCube. It wasn't Metroid Prime. It was Luigi's Mansion. I really enjoyed that game. Back to Luigi's Mansion, since my phone decided it wasn't going to record anymore after the first little bit. But Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. That's why I got a GameCube. I enjoy playing through it. Every time I play through it. First time I ran through it, I believe I beat it 3 or 4 times. Just going back through and getting more money. Improving the mansion. I think that's what it was. The more money you had, the better the mansion looked or something. I forget. I haven't played through it back to back in a while. But I'm actually thinking I'm going to play through it next month. It's just a great game. Getting the ghosts. Seeing if you can get them in one go and not have to keep hunting them down. what is it? There's a gold ghost or something where they'll go to different parts of the house. I know there's little boos that do that, but I think there's also some other ones that are worth a bunch of money. That was not a stop, sir. And they just turned. What the heck? But yeah, I think I could play through that game just over and over and over and over and over again. I like the art style, I like the way it plays, the way it controls, and there's something you can do, like you can click the shoulder button, and it'll actually vacuum them up a little bit quicker. Maybe I'll see if I can get through it a couple of times next month. Next month is Luigi's Mansion only. No, I'll be doing thing with Sega Crew. I'm gonna be, I think, like 3 hours for Ghouls and Ghosts on the Master System, but I'm not going to get any chests for the first loop, so I'm going to be dying a lot. Yeah, there's my 5 games. Shining in the Darkness on the Genesis, Starflight on the Genesis, Earth Defense Force 2025 on the 360, Elemental Gimmick Gear on the Dreamcast, and then Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. That's a nice assortment. And a lot of play value. Eventually, though, you would get tired of any game you took, I think. But what would your picks be? Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Take care, have fun, be kind to one another, stay safe, keep it retro, God bless. We'll catch you later.